All right, about to get started here soon, guys. Gonna be talking about Binance coin. Let's get started. Welcome, guys, to the Meet Damien live stream, cryptocurrency live stream. Talking about we're gonna talk about Binance coin first here, because Binance coin actually made some new all-time highs, which, you know, we haven't seen any other cryptocurrencies do that besides Bitcoin and I think Solana earlier, way earlier this year. XRP kind of almost got a new all-time high, but not really, because there's some exchanges out there that said that XRP got up to like 380. But anyways, let's celebrate Binance coin making new all-time highs here. Binance coin currently trading at $842.30 here, making that new all-time high. But we actually got rejected, so we actually seen Binance coin get up as high as about $884 earlier today here. And Binance coin is in an uptrend, as we all can see here. And I charted out like where Binance coin could possibly go with Fibonacci here. If we continue to go to the upside on Binance coin here, then we have the 1272 fib extension level saying that we could see a $960 Binance coin maybe later on in the future here, in the near future. And then we have a 1618 saying that Binance coin could actually get up to like $1,000 here, $1,058. That's your 1618 fib extension level here. And this is what Binance coin has looked like all throughout the year, since January of 2025. We saw Binance coin trading at about $700, and then this thing came down with the rest of the market in February, March, and April. April, I think, was like the lowest low. Yeah, about $518 here. And ever since then, after the lows in April, we've been climbing up high, just like Bitcoin. But Binance coin is finally making newer all-time highs here, because we never seen Binance coin this high before. If I zoom out, okay, and I start going back to previous price action history, we never seen Binance coin this high. Okay, let me get rid of this previous chart work here. This Fibonacci was also saying that Binance coin could get up to like $1,000 as well. Okay. But yeah, back in like 2021 cycle, Binance coin was, you know, topping out near 658. November of 2021, 655. Okay. So it's good to see that we finally found a coin here that can actually make new all-time highs, higher than the highs that it made back in 2021. And I think the main reason that Binance coin is able to do that is because they're actually burning their token. And it's an exchange token, okay? You guys might have heard of Binance cryptocurrency exchange. The money that they make from, you know, from all the exchange fees, from all the buying and selling on their exchange, they actually take some of that money and they burn off the token, the Binance token. And there's less Binance tokens in circulation because of that. So that actually increases the value of Binance coin here. So Binance coin might be a winner because they have a company behind them that makes money, and they use that money to get rid of the extra coins that are out there. I see BC Port Corp is in the chat. Good to see you, BC Port Corp. Anybody else in the live stream, live chat here? You can say hi if you want, or you can just continue lurking if you want to. Either way is fine. Let's see. We got a few people here on the TikTok live stream. I'm doing both TikTok and YouTube here. Mar wants to take a look at Bitcoin. We'll take a look at Bitcoin. Yep. I also titled the live stream, OKB is actually having a good bull run as well. I think they're actually up today. So we'll take a look at OKB and Bitcoin. Of course, we always look at Bitcoin, Mar. And it looks like I have a request here for BIOS coin. So I will be taking requests here for your cryptocurrencies, and if you guys want to talk about stocks, we can talk about stocks as well. But yeah, let me just do a quick sound check, make sure everything's good on that end. Alright, good. I can hear myself. Alright, cool. Sound check is good. All right. BIOS coin. That's interesting. I never heard of that one. We'll have to take a look at that one. Yeah, let's see. BC Port Corp. What are you saying here about OKB? OKB does the same thing. They burnt $200 million worth of tokens. That's what caused the pump. Isn't OKB? I think OKB is an exchange, right? They're also a cryptocurrency exchange. So I think some people are starting to figure out that these cryptocurrency exchanges, they make money and they're able to burn tokens, and that they're worth getting into. Hasn't always been the case. Cryptocurrency exchanges have not always had the best, cryptocurrency coins attached to them. But the ones that are actually burning their tokens are worth getting into. Oh yeah, OKX. Okay, OKX is the exchange behind OKB. That makes sense. I think people are starting to figure out that there's some businesses that are tied up to these cryptocurrencies, and you can actually make some money with these cryptocurrency exchanges. Yeah. And then Jay Cherie saying, why do you think markets are still down? Are they waiting on Powell's speech from tomorrow? I think you pretty much answered your own question. There's still some doubts in the market about what Jerome Powell's going to say tomorrow. So I think they're on edge. And then also there's still some profit taking going on. And some people interpret the economic data that we got from like last Thursday and this week as bearish, but I think it's actually bullish. We actually had jobless claims come in pretty high today. But yeah, let me get into the requests here. I guess I'll look at OKB after BIOS. And let's get into looking at Bitcoin first, and then we'll take a look at BIOS. Because I started off the stream looking at the Binance coin only because it's having its day in the sun, because it's actually making new all-time highs. But let's get into Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently trading at $112,820, down 1.27% today. And the thing that's concerning me about Bitcoin is if we continue dropping down the lower prices, if we're not able to hold the lows for the week at $112,344, and if we continue to threaten to go lower than what we did back here in August 2nd when we came down to like $111,900, if we lose that $111,900 level, it could be it could be a steep drop going down to like maybe 108. Could be the first stop for Bitcoin. 108 is also the 0.32 retracement level here on the Fibonacci. We could also then head down to the 0.236 at 104K, 104,500, which is kind of confluent with the 100-day moving average. Is sitting at $104,000. So those are your two downside targets. If we lose 112, we come down to 108, possibly 104 on Bitcoin. Okay. But if Bitcoin can get its act into gear, we're still looking to see if Bitcoin can climb itself back up, get past this noise here at the golden pocket, reclaim the golden pocket at $114,000, $115,000. But then once we reclaim that, we want to see Bitcoin then try to reclaim $118,000, $119,000 area. That's your 0.786 retracement. That's going to be the levels to look for later on this week as Bitcoin kind of chops through all the economic data and news that we're getting this past week. And also Jay Powell is going to be very important to whatever words come out of his mouth tomorrow. And I think that's like at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Whatever he says tomorrow about the markets and the economy and interest rates and inflation is going to dictate where we go next here on Bitcoin, to be honest. If he's dovish, if he can look past, the tariffs and inflation, then we're probably going to get a bounce up to higher prices here for Bitcoin. If he's hawkish and he makes a big deal out of tariffs and inflation being a problem, then we're probably going to see Bitcoin go down to that 108K area. So we're on cliff's edge here with Bitcoin and with Jerome Powell talking about the markets and the economy. All right, I see Steve's in the chat, and I also see MMA Esquire. Good to see you there too. Got a couple of new guys in the chat. I see. Thank you. Don't forget to hit the like button if you guys haven't already. Let's go get the likes to match the amount of people that are in the live stream right now. Okay, same thing with my TikTok guys. Let's go ahead and double tap the screen so we can get some more likes here. Let's see. So those are your downside targets for Bitcoin. We're still eyeing 112k areas important. If we break that, we go down to 108. If we break 108, we go down to 104. If we get an upside bullish price action here, then we're going to see if we can reclaim 115. And if we're not able, and if we're able to get past 115, then 118, 119 looks like a juicy target later on this week. Let's see what the weekly time frame looks like for Bitcoin. Yeah, we get a nasty red candle here. We already had like a red candle shooting, kind of almost like a shooting star candle here on the second week of August, and now the third week of August. We're getting this bearish engulfing red candle here. That's negating all the price action that we did here, back here. All that positive price action towards the end of July is getting negated and neglected, invalidated here. So that's not good to see. Okay. And the longer we stay down, the more we kind of give credence to the bears out there that are thinking that this was a double top on Bitcoin at 124k and 123k. All right, that gives them credence to say, yep, double top, and now we go down. Okay. But yeah, looking at 21 EMA on the weekly chart, we got the 21 EMA at 105k. So you would think like maybe we could get a bounce off that level and go to higher prices. Because usually when we go down to the 21 EMA, we do get a slight bounce. Like we kind of threatened to go down to the 21 EMA here in June, and we didn't actually touch it, but then we still got the bounce up to higher prices. The only time we lost the 21 EMA was back here in March and April on the weekly time frame here. So yeah, that's when people start getting worried and getting scared, when we lose that white line there, that 21 EMA. Okay, but we haven't lost it yet. We are threatening to come down to it, but if we do come down to it, I would think there would be an initial bounce off that level at 105k here for Bitcoin. All right, moving on from Bitcoin to BIOS, and then we'll take a look at OKB. BIOS that should be a cryptocurrency, right? I see BIOS on Kraken and BitGet. Let's try it on BitGet. Alright, so this coin has been trading on BitGet exchange since January 2025. And what a big rug pull, in my opinion. Like, it's just been dropping like a rock ever since it came on the cryptocurrency exchange. That sucks for whoever who bought in January. But are we bottoming out here on BitGet? I mean on BIOS. Looks like you had a bottom here in April at like 4 cents, and then you had another bottom here at like almost 4 cents again. Higher low, and you still are making higher lows here. And now you're starting to catch some bids here. So I can see why you might be a little bit interested in this cryptocurrency. Looks like here on April 7th, we went up like 46% from like 6 cents all the way up to 9 cents here. So that's nice to see. Creating higher highs, higher low, and some more higher highs. This thing looks like it's off on a run here. Okay. Could this be the start of a bull run for BIOS? Let's see what the RSI has to say about things. Okay. Looks like you're making higher lows on the RSI, and you were overbought on August 11th at 81 on the RSI here. That red number right there. But now you're just close to being overbought. I mean, if you really want to make another run to the upside, you could do that here with BIOS, but I think this thing needs to kind of chill out for a little bit. But some of these cryptocurrencies have no chill, so when they're on a run, they just continue to go on a run. That could happen. That could happen in cryptocurrency world here. Let's see, nothing interesting with the MACD besides we got some buying pressure, and then here on the Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B said that a good day to buy was August 17th, this past Sunday here, and you would have caught more of an upside move. Okay. Let's see, August 17th was right over here. Yeah. And I think what this thing is now trying to do is, if I get rid of the moving averages right now, it looks like it's starting to do a rising channel here. I mean, let me see if I can draw that out. No, not that one. I think I want, yeah, I want this parallel channel. Where's my parallel channel? Nope. Yeah. Alright, yeah. There we go, parallel channel, there we go. Alright. So we could be doing something like this here. Where we just continue bouncing between the lows of the channel to the highs of the channel as we continue going up to higher prices. Now right now we're kind of like in the middle ground, the heart line, no man's land. We could go down. If we go down, you might want to buy near at like 12 cents maybe, and if we go up to higher prices here, we could see 19 or even 20 cents here, where we would hit the top of the channel of this rising parallel channel here. I think we'll just stick with that for now. You could see 20 cents here for BIOS to the upside, and downside target you could see 12 cents. All right. Moving on from BIOS, we'll take a look at OKB, and I see we got some requests coming in. Let me go ahead and take a look at the live chat here for my TikTok guys. And I have a request. I have a few requests here. Let's see. Nasir's over here talking about Bitcoin dominance. Hurstburst says check out Telegram, TGL. Alright, I'll write that down. And let's see what else. What else we have a request here? Lana Coin. Cyber Trader wants to look at Lana Coin. Okay. And then we got a request here for Cetus. I take the requests as they come in on a first come, first served basis. Just know that we do have some few coins that we're looking at. I got some requests right here. Okay, from my TikTok guys. Yeah, those are the requests right there. Okay. So we'll get to them. Alright. Alright, so moving on from BIOS, let's take a look at OKB, which had a pretty good day today. And I think it's having a pretty good week as well. Wow. Well, OKB up 27% today, up $47. Looking, just sticking out from the RSI, you can see this thing is already overbought. So maybe the move has already been made on this coin. I don't know if it can stay overbought like this, but that'd be pretty remarkable if it is able to stay overbought here. OKB coin looks like you started trading at like $46 just about a week ago. Like last Monday you were at like $46. Looks like you caught the bids here on Wednesday, August 13th. Last Wednesday you opened at 46 bucks and you climbed up to $218 this candle wick high, and then you then closed out at $105. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. And what does that look like with the moving averages? Let's go ahead and throw the moving averages on right now. Moving averages are still right below you, so the moving averages haven't even caught up yet. The 21 EMA might be the first one to catch up. That one's at 81 bucks. So I'm not sure how helpful that is. All this says to me is just clearly this thing is overbought and probably needs a correction to come soon here. If we do get a correction on OKB, alright, let's just do a Fibonacci retracement from the highs here at 245 down to where we were at like 46 bucks here. And I got these numbers looked at. So a normal pullback would take us probably down to about $169. That's just 618 retracement. If it's going to be a shallow pullback and this thing's going to remain bullish, then it's probably going to stay right here at the $202 level where you got the 0.786 retracement hanging out at. Okay. So I'm expecting maybe something like this where we come down to 618, 169 bucks, then we bounce up, get reclaim 245, and then if OKB is going to continue being bullish here, we do have a 1272 fib extension at a $299, basically 300 bucks. This thing could get up to 300 bucks. And then you got a 1618 saying that you could see $369 for OKB. So that's very interesting that this thing is finally catching some bids here. What has this thing done? Has it always been? Is this like new all-time highs for this coin? I'm just trying to like zoom back to like when this thing first started trading on Mexi exchange here. This thing was trading at like 15, 16 bucks in 2021. All of a sudden they started launching up to high prices here. Wow. And BC Porcorp, you said this is related to them burning the token just like Binance Coin is doing. That's very interesting. So like now that these exchanges are able to start making money and sharing the wealth here, we're actually starting to see some higher prices for these exchange tokens. And this one's related to OKX. So that's interesting to see. But yeah, I think this thing, you know, be careful. I mean, you can already see it's coming down from the highs of today. This thing was trading as high as like 244 bucks, and now we're at 220. I wouldn't be surprised if it does come down to like 200 bucks before maybe some buyers start stepping in at that psychological level there. All right, moving on from OKB, we'll take a look at TGL, Telegram. Are you sure it's TGL and not TEL? Because I got TEL USD. And then there's also Toncoin. Are you still in the live chat? Because I just want to make sure that you spelled that thing right here. You said Telegram. Check TGL, Telegram launch coin. You can launch a coin straight from Telegram. Don't fade it. Alright. I'm just going to type in Telegram. See what comes up here. Yeah, that doesn't really do anything for me. I'm assuming you might be talking about Telcoin here. We're looking at Telcoin trading at 0.0048 pennies here. As I zoom out, this thing has been up and down, up and down. Obviously, it has some better days here in January and February of this year. But what are we doing here? You're trying to get up to above the 200-day moving average. This red line here. Came above it, came below it, came above it, came below it. But here, I don't like this. You made lower high. So you had a high here on July 18th. At 0.0075 pennies, and then you made a lower high here at 0.0068 pennies here, and on August 13th, August 12th here. I don't like that. So you got this downward trend that you're starting to create right now with the lower highs here. However, it looks like you are making higher lows, so that's interesting. Okay, at the very least. You're just kind of flagging out and consolidating. This consolidation could continue all the way up until like September, middle of September is what I'm seeing here with the trend lines. If we just keep ping-ponging back and forth, you won't get some resolution until the end of September, roughly, before this thing has to make a decision. Are we going down or are we going up? Or I don't know, we can even go just trade sideways if this thing wants to continue frustrating everybody. But yeah, I don't like the fact that you're below the 200-day moving average on this asset. Okay, you are the only hope that you got is you're making a higher low compared to what you did here back in early August. I just don't see I don't see the enthusiasm and excitement that you would need to get this thing to go to higher prices here. It's just not acting like there's any enthusiasm and excitement. Let's go ahead and do a fib retracement now. So it looks like the 200-day moving average at 0.0057 pennies is confluent. This red line is confluent with the 0.5 retracement. I'm expecting that to be a significant resistance level if this thing does get up to higher prices here. 0.0056 pennies should be your first take profit if you're day trading it. Second take profit could be the 618 golden pocket at 6,093. And then we'll see if this thing can actually get back up to like 7,550, like it did here in on July 18th. But you have to make another request for this coin in the future. We'll see where it's trading at. Downside target, you can just put your stop loss right below the lows here on August 3rd. Don't anything lower than 4,500. You probably don't want anything to do with this cryptocurrency. But yeah, you could be catching the bottom, right? This could be a double bottom, higher low, and you could be heading to higher prices from here if this thing starts catching some bids. All right, moving on from from Telcoin to Lana. Let's take a look at Lana. Lana. Is this a brand spanking new coin? Because if it's a brand spanking new coin, I'm able to find it on TradingView. I can't do TA if I can't get it on TradingView. Kian Hanna is saying Solana predictions. I think Solana's gonna try to head up to $220 if it starts catching some bids, where it will actually get some resistance. But I'll take a look at that coin for you if you want me to do some technical analysis on it. And then Epic Chain is another request here from Forsberg. Okay, I'll write that down. Epic. I think we looked at it Epic yesterday, but yeah, we can look at it again. Sure, why not? I'm getting a little bit hot here, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the air condition here at my place. Give me 10 seconds here. Alright, back with you guys. Oh, Keon, you want to see how accurate your analysis is, to see if it kind of matches what I can see on the charts. Alright, we'll take a look at Solana at some point. We gotta look at Cetus first. And this other guy requested Lana, but I can't find it. Unless he's talking about Luna. I can't find Lana coin. Yeah, I don't know what Lana is. Alright, so we'll take a look at Cetus instead. So we're looking at the Cetus coin, currently trading at 9 cents, down 5.4% today. I don't think I've done any previous chart work on this chart. You see that this thing had better days back in November of 2024 and December, when we had like kind of like an altcoin, mini altcoin season, some people call it. We had some enthusiasm in this coin back in May as well, but then that died off as well. And now what do you got here? Well, you're still making higher lows compared to the lows here in June 22nd. This thing got as low as like 7.5 cents, 0.076 pennies. So you're still doing this. Hopefully you don't go any lower than that. You got a little bit of a slight uptrend here. I mean, I'm pretty sure people were probably charting it looking like this here, where you got a few more touches, right? So you already violated that uptrend. Okay. I would say just don't go any lower than the lows back here in July. Don't go lower than 8.5 cents, and don't go lower than 7.5 cents. So you can probably put your stop loss at 8.5 cents, hoping that it doesn't get hit. And maybe you might be catching the lows as of now for this cryptocurrency. And if this thing starts going to higher prices here, you do have the moving averages above you at 11 cents and 12.5 cents. You got your 200-day moving average at 12.5 cents. That's probably going to be a first take profit target. Eventually, I would like to see this thing get above the highs here in July, where we saw this thing at like 14.5 cents. And if it does that, right, if we just measure from where we are right now to 14.5 cents, that's about a 60% gain, possibly here. Let me quickly do a Fibonacci on you, see what where we could go from here. Yeah, so it looks like the 200-day moving average is confluent with the 6.5 golden pocket number here at the 0.122 pennies. I think this is going to be your first take profit target. So you're going to be going from 9 cents to 12 cents here. And if you go from 9 cents to 12 cents, you're looking at like a 33% gain. Slap on some 10x leverage and you got a 330% gain. Okay. But I think upside target that you're targeting is going to be 12 cents, and then from there you're going to see if you can make your way back up to like 14.5 cents here. And then maybe longer term target, your 1272 is saying that 16 cents could be a price target for Cetus, maybe later on in 2025. Okay. Just put in the request for this coin again. You know, a few days, few weeks. If you ask me again tomorrow, I mean, only ask me again about this coin if it's done something significant, like if it made it back up to the 200-day moving average, or if it's dropping like a rock, then we can like take a look at this again. But yeah, maybe like a week from now, we can take a look at this cryptocurrency again and see where it's doing as far as like the fib levels here and the moving averages. All right, moving on from Cetus, we'll take a look at the Solana. Alright, let's see. Solana currently trading at $181, down 3.47% today. I do have some previous chart work here. Some levels I'm looking for here for Solana is I do want to see if Solana can reclaim and recapture that $195 level. That is the 0.5 retracement level here. But it looks like we're on our way down to the 0.382 level here, the $171 level. Just ping-ponging back and forth between these two levels here. Maybe Solana comes and revisits that $171 level, because that's also confluent with this upward trend line that we got here, where Solana has been making higher lows, right, since June 22nd. And it's respecting this upward trend line here. Do we have to come back down there again to finally get some bids at $171? I don't know. But I think if we start losing the lows for the week here, if we lose $175, we'll probably come right down to 171, no problem. And if we lose 171, then maybe we have to come down to like the 50-day or even the 200-day. 200-day is sitting at 157. Jeez, that would not be pretty. But it's possible here. But that's where you got some strong support near $157 to $165. You got your strong support at those moving averages down there. But as far as upside targets go, you know, like I said, I want to see if we can reclaim $195 here. That is a resistance level for Solana. And then I want to see if we can reclaim the $220 level, which we haven't so far in 2025. We haven't been up that price since like January of 2025, February of 2025. Get rid of this here for right now. But yeah, back here in January, February, we saw a $220 Solana. That's your 618 and your 6.5 retracement at 225 bucks. And I drew the fibs here from like the 295 level back here in January, all the way down to the $95 level here, where we saw Solana get down to 95 bucks on April 7th here. That's how I got these Fibonacci numbers here that are still pretty useful in my opinion. Okay. Alright, so that's Solana upside downside targets. Let's take a look at Epic. So we're looking at Epic cryptocurrency trading at $2.73, down 7% today. And I know Epic had an epic bull run here. Towards the middle to end of July here. Looks like we topped out at $3.15 here on July 21st, and then we actually beat that here on August 20th. We got up to like $3.22. What was that, yesterday? Okay. But I feel like the bull run is starting to lose its legs here. Obviously we have some red candles showing up on the daily time frame here, but if I go into the RSI, let's see. Yeah, you got an RSI here back in July 18th of 92, and then the RSI was like around 70 and 69 yesterday. So that is indicating to me bearish divergence. Okay. You have, lower highs here on the RSI. However, you have higher highs here on the price. Okay. So that's your bearish divergence. That probably means that it's very unlikely that you're going to continue going to higher prices. It's still possible you could go to higher prices, but very unlikely. It's more likely that you'll probably go sideways at best, which is kind of like what we're doing right now with Epic. And then also it's also likely that we could go down to lower prices from where we are right now. And if we go down to lower prices on Epic, then we're probably looking at like this golden pocket here at $2.21. It is also confluent with the 21 EMA at $2.27. So I'm expecting 220 to be the downside target for Epic if it does go to lower prices here. We could also see Epic come down to the 0.5 retracement at $1.92, which is where you got some sideways trading action here. Back here in the first week of August, second week of August, you were trading at like $1.90 and $2 here. Okay. Now, when Epic decides to catch some bids again and go up to higher prices, we will probably revisit that $3 level, $3.16 level all over again. But then we have upside targets of $3.84, which is your 1272, and we have a upside target at $4.70, which is your 1618. Write those things down if you're in this trade. Those could be your targets where you'll probably get some resistance out of nowhere. And if you don't know why, well, I'm kind of giving you the reasons why. You got the 1272 and the 1618 showing that those could be resistance levels in the future here. And other than that, you really don't have any previous price action for this cryptocurrency, so you would have to use these Fibonacci extensions to give you an idea. It's like when people might actually click the sell button on you. Okay, that's Epic. Upside targets, downside targets. Let's see, what else we got here in the comments here. We just looked at Epic. All right. Do I think rate cuts will come? Is a question that Keon has. I think there's so much pressure from Donald Trump, and there's also pressure from the labor market is showing weakness, that they have to just show a little bit of sympathy here for the average person just trying to find a job right now. A rate cut would help. So I think they will do rate cuts in September, and I think it'll be like a 25 basis point rate cut. Must be. But then I think they're probably going to do a one and done and wait and see unless we get more bad economic data. Also, it would help if I think they will get another CPI, PPI inflation report before the Federal Reserve meeting next month. And if that shows inflation is kind of tame or moderate or even coming down, then it gives them more reason to feel better about cutting interest rates on September 17th. So that's a pretty important date to remember. Also, you know, helping us out with the rate cut possibility here. If we look at the MarketWatch.com, initial jobless claims came in higher than expected. So people are having a hard time finding jobs right now. Okay. However, the economy is doing fine according to the PMI for a U.S. service sector. PMI came in at 55.4. They were expecting 55, so you know, as expected, slightly better than expected. And then PMI for manufacturing in the United States came in at 53.3. They were actually expecting 49.5. So manufacturing is actually increasing in the United States. So the economy is doing fine. Okay. However, people are having a hard time finding jobs. But usually, you know, the U.S. economy is service-based sector, so manufacturing jobs, although great that they're actually getting more manufacturing in the United States, I don't think it's enough jobs out there to actually help the people who are looking for jobs. Because the majority of the jobs in the United States are actually service-related jobs. So it's not surprising to me that you know, jobless claims are increasing because people are hurting out there and businesses aren't really hiring, at least on the service side of the business, the service sector in the United States. Existing home sales came in slightly better than expected as well. So the housing market's doing all right, at least according to this data here. Very important tomorrow. We have 10 a.m. Jerome Powell is speaking at Jackson Hole. You guys might have heard that already, but just letting you know, tomorrow 10 a.m. Could be moving the markets one way or the other, depending upon what he has to say and what his thoughts are about the economy and inflation and interest rates. Going into next week, we have new home sales on Monday. We have a Fed president speaking. Then we have durable goods on Tuesday. Case-Shiller home price index. That's pretty interesting to know what home prices are doing on Tuesday. Nothing going on next Wednesday. Thursday we get another initial jobless claim number. We also get pending home sales. And then also, this is pretty important, next Friday, PCE index. So this is an inflation related number. And also core PCE. The Federal Reserve pays attention to PPI and CPI, but I've heard that their favorite number is actually the PCE, personal consumer expenditure number. So this could also make sway the Federal Reserve as to whether or not they should cut interest rates in September. Okay, so next Friday is also going to be a pretty important day as well as tomorrow. John 3:16's in the chat. John 3:16's asking about Kronos. Okay, I guess we can look at Kronos. You haven't asked that in a while. You took a break the last couple of days. So I guess we can take a look at Kronos. I can do that. He says smash the like button if you guys haven't done that already. And you're on the beach today. It's lovely on Lake Superior. That's awesome. We're actually having some bad weather here because of, it's not completely bad weather, but Hurricane Erin is out in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's making things kind of cloudy and windy over here. Temperatures are also a little bit cooler. I wouldn't really call it a beach day, but you could go to the beach. I would just wear a sweater maybe. But yeah, we'll take a look at Kronos for you there. Yep, let's do it. Pro USA. Chronos. So we're now looking at Chronos, trading at 14 cents, down 1.8% today. I have done previous chart work. It was nice to see that Chronos got above this 11.5 cent number here. And we didn't even come and revisit. We kind of threatened to revisit here on August 2nd here, but we didn't. We caught the bids here at that golden pocket level at 12 cents. And then we've been off to the races. We came up to the 16, almost 17 cent level here. Yeah, we actually got up to like 17 cents on August 11th. I think Chronos is doing quite fine right now, to be honest with you. Could this be another higher low? Alright, and if this is a higher low, and we are going to go to higher prices, then maybe we'll hit that take profit target at 1618, your 1618 fib extension at 19 cents. I think that should be where you should consider taking profits and hitting that sell button if you haven't already. But if you don't and you want to take it further, there is a 2618 showing that we could see Chronos get up to like 26 cents. And let's see, is 26 cents confluent with anything here? We have some previous price action here. It looks like when Chronos first started trading on Coinbase Exchange back in 2021, we did see Chronos start off at like 25 cents. So I think that should be a take profit target, because whoever bought Chronos at 25 cents and didn't sell when it got up to like almost $1 here and round tripped it and then brought it all the way down to the lows here, they might be like, they might have learned their lesson, and they're probably gonna click the sell button at 25 cents when they break even on their Chronos after getting into it and doing that little, you know, roller coaster ride there. But yeah, I think 26, 25 cents is your second take profit target on Chronos to the upside. Did I go into downside targets? I don't think I did, but if we were to, you know, go to lower prices here than where we are right now, I think that golden pocket level is going to probably be your support zone for now at 12 cents, 12.5 cents. We don't have any movement averages that can provide us some support, so right now it's just going to be the Fibonacci retracement. And also you got, you know, this previous low here at 12 cents. We're going to see if that can hold if we do go down to lower prices here for Chronos. Alright, let's see what's going on in the markets, right? It's looking pretty vicious and brutal out there. Okay, Bitcoin's down at $112,600. Ethereum's at 44,230. Solana at 181. XRP down to $2.90. Sui down to 340. A lot of these cryptocurrencies are down 2 to 3% today. Bitcoin only down 1.5%. Aerodrome taking a big hit, but it's because they had a pretty good day yesterday, and it's down 6.7% today. Chainlink also down about 5.4% today, but Chainlink was doing pretty well yesterday as well. Yeah, it's just very, very disconcerting to see that these cryptocurrencies are going down today. Maybe there's still that nervousness about what Jerome Powell's going to do tomorrow, or say tomorrow. He's not going to really do anything. He's just going to give his thoughts about the economy. But still, like, knowing where his head's at is pretty important, because it gives us an idea as like what to expect for September. When they actually do, you know, they might actually lower interest rates, or they might just keep them the same. There's also chit chat about them raising interest rates, but I think that's highly unlikely. Inflation is not that bad where they have to increase the interest rates, in my opinion. John says market is ruthless today. Yeah, but it could just be a buying opportunity. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, see how that's doing, because I know we haven't really looked at Bitcoin dominance. This will tell you how your altcoin season is doing. I think someone said that if we get back above 60% on Bitcoin dominance, that we could be losing out on our altcoin season here. But as my opinion goes here with altcoin season, it doesn't really start until you lose the 200-day moving average, which we have. And then we came and we back tested it, rejected it, back tested it again almost, and rejected it again. And that was your confirmation right there. That was almost like a bear flag saying that Bitcoin dominance is going to come down. And I have measured that bear flag, right? You know, I measured it from here to here, right? Okay. And if we're breaking out of that bear flag, like in this area, then it's saying that we could see Bitcoin dominance get down to like 56%, 57%. Right now, Bitcoin dominance is just consolidating at this area. So that's still good to see. We could, you know, continue consolidating here and then just drop down further with an altcoin season getting into full gear. However, if we start seeing some green candles here, like we kind of did here on Monday and Tuesday, we saw some green candles showing up on Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, we could end up seeing altcoins take even more damage as Bitcoin tries to reclaim its dominance here. But yeah, yesterday was a good day for a lot of altcoins. They did outpace and outperform Bitcoin yesterday. And that's why you got this bearish engulfing candle. This is a bearish engulfing because it's a red candle and it engulfed this green candle here. So you got your bearish engulfing red candle here on the daily time frame. That was nice to see. That helped the altcoins yesterday. But now Bitcoin's kind of reclaiming a little bit of that dominance back here. So it's still a battle, still a fight, but we are below that psychological 60% number here. I think if we get up to 60%, that's when people be like, oh my god, Bitcoin dominance is increasing and altcoin season is coming to an end. Not quite yet. Altcoin season won't really come to an end, in my opinion, until we actually get back above the 200-day moving average on Bitcoin dominance. And I see Steve is saying hi to John. Is John going to say hi to Steve? What are we saying here on the comments here? It's a little bit quiet here on TikTok. I guess when altcoins aren't doing so great, people just, they don't have a stomach to look at the charts here. But we'll look at the charts to see if there's any buying opportunities, right? Because when prices go down, that could be another buy the dip opportunity. Let's see. Let's take a look at XRP. I know that's a crowd favorite. No one has requested it yet. That's very interesting. But we'll take a look at XRP. XRP currently trading at $2.89, down 2% today. And we do have some previous chart work to look at with XRP. Very important level that XRP needed to maintain, but it looks like it's not, is that $3 level here. That was your 0.618 golden pocket level. You lost that. Try to reclaim it on yesterday. And now you're not able to reclaim it, and it's actually acting as resistance. If we go down to lower prices here on XRP, we could see that 0.5 retracement come into play here at the $2.78 is the first downside target for XRP, but you'll get even more support if you come down further. You got the 50-day moving average at 261 and the 0.382 retracement at 257. That could be another downside target for XRP if we start losing all this positive price action that we made over the last few weeks here. That'd be very, very disconcerting, unfortunate. Clearly we lost this uptrend here, so I can get rid of this line now. That's no longer in play. I don't think I need that here. If XRP is able to start catching some bids here, let's see if it can reclaim the golden pocket level. $3 is a psychological target. If we get past that $3 psychological target, then we can probably make our way up to $3.28 here for XRP. We're expecting a little bit more resistance from the people who bought here, thinking that they bought the, the dip, and then it kept on dipping on them. They might want to sell and just break even at 328. And then we'll see if we can actually get back up to 366 on XRP. And then after that, you do have a fib extension at 1272, $4.13. That could happen later on in 2025 for XRP. But first, you have to start catching some bids here. Alright, so that's XRP. Upside, downside targets. Huh, of course, John wants to look at ZBCN. Let's go ahead and take a look at ZBCN. You know, I should probably add this one to my favorites because you're always asking for it. Yeah, let's see, can I add it? Add that to my favorites? Oh no. Oh no, I don't want that. Yeah, I'm gonna add that to my favorites because you're always asking for that one. Alright. ZBCN currently trading at 44,280. Obviously, I guess a previous shot work because we have looked at this one in the past. Very nice to see ZBCN get that bounce off the 50-day moving average at 40,133. We actually came down to like 39,688 on Tuesday, and buyers, investors, and traders paid attention and they bought it up. Got us above that 50-day moving average. Then we had that bullish engulfing candle here on the daily time frame. But now we're kind of losing the progress that we made here on Wednesday, and we're just chopping between we're chopping back and forth between the 0.5 retracement and just choppiness near this area. Hopefully, if we do revisit the 50-day moving average, it will probably be at this 0.5 retracement. So this 0.5 retracement, I think 45,000 needs to hold here. Okay, and if it does hold, then we can start working our way up to higher prices here at that 618 retracement at 51,000. 51,000, 53,000 is going to be the next resistance level for ZBCN. And then after that, we'll see how it handles itself at that 0.786 retracement at 60,000, where we had an unlucky buyer buy at that level, and now they're down, right? They're down probably roughly, well, how far are they down? Let's see. Just out of curiosity. From here to here, they're down about 27% on their investment. So you can understand that, you know, when the price actually gets back up to 60,000, they'll be back to break even, and they already had a good scare being down 27%, and they actually were down almost 30% on Tuesday here. So if we get back up to that 60,000 level, they're back at break even. They'll probably sell on you and say that they'll never do that again. But yeah, I think upside target 60,000, and also 51,000 here for ZBCN. All right. Oh, now we got some people showing up here in the TikTok stream asking for some cryptocurrencies. Poppy's asking for VeChain and GRT. Okay. And Mario wants to look at Say. All right. Appreciate the request, guys. Hit the like button, especially if I'm giving you some free and good analysis here. At the very least, you can show your appreciation by hitting that like button. Thank you. Alright, and then Say. Oh, and Mike wants to look at Microsoft. Okay, we'll look at Microsoft. Your request came in after VeChain and GRT, so we're gonna have to look at those first, and then we'll look at Microsoft. Okay? But yeah, stick around. We'll get to Microsoft. Thank you. Thank you for that request. I normally don't get too many stocks, but I like it when you guys do request stocks. It gives me something different to talk about. Oh no, another trade intuition raid. Oh no, the guys are here. Good to see you guys, Dave and David and Joe. Good to see you guys make it into here. We got Techman as well, saying that the trade intuition raid is here. Okay. All right, we got a few cryptocurrencies to look at, and then we got Microsoft as another request. So let's take a look at those. We'll look at VeChain first, and then we're gonna look at GRT after that. VeChain currently trading at 2 cents, down 1% today. You can see that this 200-day moving average has acted as a bully in the past. It beat us up and stuffed us in the locker room. It stuffed us in the locker on July 21st. Okay. Then we came back here on August 13th. It took our lunch money and kicked us again down to lower prices. And yeah, that 200-day moving average will act as a bully again if we get up to like 2.5 cents. We want to see if we can actually flip, flip the energy on them and actually get ahead and try to use it as support instead of resistance. If we can flip the script on them and get above 2.5 cents, then I think you can start being more bullish on VeChain here. But I think some people here already know my opinion. As long as you're below the 200-day moving average, my bias is bearish on this whatever asset you're looking at here. But I do like the fact that you are making higher lows. Okay. But I've seen that with other cryptocurrencies. They're making lower highs and making higher lows and just consolidating right now. Okay. And it's mainly because that 200-day moving average is acting as a bully. Let's go ahead and do a fib retracement here real quick here. So, I think I see some confluence already. Looks like the 200-day moving average at 2.5 cents is confluent with the 618 golden pocket retracing at 2.5 cents. So, that's going to be a tough resistance level to get past. Once you get past that, then there might be some resistance at 786 at the 0.027 pennies. And then of course we got to get above 3 cents here, like we kind of almost did here on July 21st. You do that, and then you can start saying that you're making higher highs, and then you're also making higher lows to get to those higher highs. And you can say that you're in a uptrend on VeChain here. And if you are in an uptrend on VeChain here, then you got the 1272 fib extension saying that, yeah, 0.032 pennies could be a take profit target, and then also 1618 0.036 pennies is a take profit target. And I think this level is confluent with some previous price action here back here in February, where you kind of like topped out at like 0.036 pennies on Friday. Oh, on Valentine's Day you topped out at 0.036 pennies. So I think your target in the long term is that Valentine's Day high of 3.036 pennies. Okay, for VeChain. Do I really need to get into downside targets? Downside targets, don't lose this last higher low that you made at 2 pennies, 0.021 pennies. You put a stop loss right there, and if you lose that, there's something wrong with this crypto, and you probably don't want to stick around to find out. Alright, moving on from VeChain to GRT. GRT is currently trading at 0.089 pennies, down 3.25% today. And this one is also having a problem with the 200-day moving average acting as a bully, okay? Every time we get up to it, we're not even able to get above it for 1 day before we get rejected, okay? Rejected again here on July 28th. Rejected again here on August 13th, August 14th. I mean, so much rejection, you would think this guy would just give up, right? GRT would give up, but GRT hasn't given up yet. You are still making relatively higher lows, barely, right? The lowest low was August 2nd at 8.5 cents here. This week you got down to like 0.087 pennies and 0.087 pennies again on Wednesday, August 20th. You could really game plan this one out, like put a stop loss right below August 2nd at 8.5 pennies. If you lose 8.5 pennies, you probably don't want anything to do with this thing, because you're losing your most recent low here, and you'll be losing the 0.236 retracement, and it could be right. You could be heading right back down to 7 pennies here, where we saw this thing down at 7 pennies on June 22nd here. Okay, but if this is the lowest low for GRT, and we are going to try to make our way up to higher prices. Try to get above that 200-day moving average at like 10 cents right now. Okay, 10 cents is also confluent with a 0.5 retracement, so that should be a first take profit target if you're day trading this. Second take profit target is probably going to be this 11 cent level at the golden pocket at 0.65. And then we'll see if we can actually make it back to the highs here on July 21st, where you got up to like roughly 12 cents here. That's your 76 retracement. Okay. But yeah, you just have to ask me, you know, when this thing actually makes it up to 12 cents, we'll take a look at the charts again and see where GRT could go next. But yeah, I think you gotta make it past 10 cents, then 11 cents, then 12 cents. It's very easy, right? 10 cents, 11 cents, 12 cents. Then we'll take a look at the charts again and figure out where this thing could go. It's saying that there is a 1618 at 17 cents though. So that's interesting. That should be a double in price, and you should consider clicking the sell button if you haven't already, if it does get up to 17 cents. Alright, moving on from GRT to SAY, and then we got Microsoft. Alright, so SAY currently trading at 29 cents, down 5.24% today. You're above the moving averages, so that's good to see. You've actually beat up the bully back here in June 24th. That 200-day moving average got beat up. Then we came back in, we threw in some more punches on the 200-day moving average, and then we finally got away from it and got up to higher highs here, so that's good to see on SAY. And you are making higher lows, so this thing is looking a little bit better than GRT and V-Chain, in my opinion. Okay? I could be bullish on this asset because you're above the 200-day moving average. My bias is going to be bullish, not bearish. But I'm actually going to throw on the VRVP here as I start to zoom out to see what the levels might be going forward. I'm going to turn on this indicator here on the right. This is the VRVP indicator, this green and red indicator. The green is the buys, the reds are the sells, and you add them up together, and the more you got, you end up getting the high volume node here. And the highest volume node is going to be this blue line. This is the point of control, POC, sitting at 28 cents. So you're kind of already at the POC. That's very interesting. That should be a support area if that's the case, because you got the high volume here at 28 cents. So I would expect this thing to hold 28 cents and then try to make a run up to higher prices. And then you got some high volume here at 32 cents and some other high volume here at 35 cents. But once you get past 35 cents, there is a gap in the VRVP, and this thing could shoot up right up to 41 cents. Alright, 41 cents is a price that this thing was trading at back here in November, December of last year. Those people over there, they might actually click the sell button just to break even once it does get up to 41 cents. And there'll be some resistance between 41 cents and 48 cents before the volume drops off again. And maybe this thing could make its way all the way up to like 66 cents. And if it does, that's another double. And I would click the sell button if I doubled on any of these assets here. Alright, I see we got some chat here in YouTube. Let me take a look at what you guys are saying here. April 7th was the low on GRT. Yep. Dutchy, boy, hope there are no stray sheep in your neighborhood. What is okay? Dutchy saying you're not a Muslim, but thanks for your support. Okay. And then David saying I'm looking to sell 50% of my GRT at 16 cents. Everything has been simply short over and over, so taking profits a bit early. Yep, gotcha. Okay. All right. So that was SAY upside targets. Downside targets for SAY, if we were to go down to lower prices for any reason, if we lose this 28 cent point of control. You got a 50-day moving average at 26 cents, but I'm not sure how well that holds. I would probably expect you, if you don't hold 26 cents, you'll probably come right down to this 200-day moving average sitting at 24 cents. So you got some support there at 24 cents if this thing does decide to come down. Yep. Okay. And you got another high volume node here at like 22, 23 cents. Alrighty. Alright, so we'll move on from SAY over to Microsoft. Our first request for the stock today. That's good to see. We got Microsoft currently trading at $504.85, and I still got the VRVP indicator because why not? How many other analysts do you know use the VRVP indicator when they're analyzing stocks? If I'm the only one, I guess that means I'm bringing value to you. All right, so here we got the VRVP here. Microsoft, if I was to look at this chart and not even know what this asset was, I would say this thing is overvalued because all your volume on the VRVP is below you. So this thing could possibly be overvalued. Just eyeballing it for 1 second here. And all your volume, right? Your POC is below you at $417. That means if this thing was to come crashing down, you won't get support until you get down to this POC at like 415. That's where your high volume is. That's where a lot of people bought Microsoft the past year, okay? Also, the other thing that screams overvalued to me on Microsoft is the moving averages. Your moving averages are below you as well. Right? Only the 21 EMA, this white line, is above the price right now because we had a few bad days here on Microsoft and we lost the 21 EMA. Okay? But if we were to continue going down, like there's some gaps here on the VRVP. This thing could drop all the way down to the value area high, which is your next high volume node below you. And that's sitting at 460 bucks. 460 bucks is also roughly a high that we made back here in July of 2024. Not 2025, 2024. And you might get some support at 460 if we do drop down to 460 on Microsoft. But yeah, that's what I'm using. That's what I'm gathering from this VRVP data. You are overvalued according to the VRVP. And now I'm going to get rid of the VRVP. And you're also overvalued on Microsoft. Just looking at the moving averages here, you're way far above them. And these moving averages, they're probably going to want to try to catch up at some point to where the price action's at. Now, I said all this overvalued stuff. Let's see if the oscillators agree with me. Like the RSI. Okay, so this was your RSI on Microsoft. You were overbought here in May. Overbought here in June, and extremely overbought with an RSI of like 81 on July 31st. And now you've done a nosedive, a skydive, all the way down. And right now the RSI is at 42, so RSI is in neutral territory. It's actually starting to get into bearish control territory. Anywhere between like 40 to 30 in the RSI is like bearish control territory. So that is very interesting to see. Okay, you're in neutral. You're in neutral between 40 and 60 is neutral, I would say, on RSI. So okay, that's interesting. Going into Market Cipher B, which is like a little cheat sheet, tells you like when to buy, when to sell, especially on the daily time frame here. The day to sell Microsoft was, it told you to sell Microsoft August 6th, which was like a couple of weeks ago. Okay, you did get a green dot on July 31st, but then that got invalidated here with that red dot saying that, hey, you should sell, and you would have avoided all that nasty price action if you just listened to Market Cipher B here on the daily time frame here. Now the good news that I got for you is that after a red dot comes a green dot. So you're just waiting for a green dot to tell you that, hey, maybe it's a good time to buy Microsoft. Okay. But it still hasn't come in yet. Okay, on Market Cipher B. Let's see if there's anything I can get with the MACD here. MACD, obviously you got selling pressure here. If you start seeing like a pink candle showing up on the MACD, that could be the low is starting to form for Microsoft. But yeah, I'm just, the way things are looking, like you got increasing selling pressure. You got the RSI dropping like a rock. You still got a sell dot here on Microsoft that came in on August 6th here. And you're still above the moving averages. There's some people don't use the 20 EMA, but I can tell you most traders do use the 50-day, and that 50-day, that green line is at 462. So I think 460 is where you can put a limit order buy to buy some cheaper Microsoft if you're able to get it at that price. Now I'll do one more last analysis here with Fibonacci because maybe there might be a fib level here where this thing might actually start catching bids out of nowhere, and you'll be like, hey, why did it was supposed to go down to the 50-day moving average, why did it just all of a sudden stop and then reverse? Well, there could be a Fibonacci level that might actually come into play here, where people try to buy up Microsoft before it even hits the 50-day moving average. So looking at the Fibonacci, I pulled it from 555 all the way down to 345. We do have a, if this is going to be a normal retracement, it should come down to that 0.618 for $475. Okay. If it's going to be a shallow retracement, then yeah, 510. You would have thought 510 would hold here. That's your 0.786 retracement. So if we're not able to hold $510, which we're kind of doing that right now, we're not able to hold it, then I would expect us to come down to this golden pocket, 482, 475 on Microsoft. And if we lose that level, then yeah, 450, 460. You got your 0.5 retracement at 450, and then you got your 50-day moving average at 462. So these are the levels I would be looking for to buy some cheaper Microsoft. Anywhere between 450 to like 480, anywhere in that area. Dutchy says he's never seen anybody pull a fib like that. Well, here you go. Now you've seen someone do it like that. All right. Poppy Chulo is asking about Athena. All right, we'll take a look at Athena. All right. Well, Dutchy, what exactly surprised you with that Fibonacci that I drew? Before I get off the chart, what? How do you see people draw their fibs? Or how do you draw your fib? I'll just give you like 10 seconds. I want to wait to hear your answer. From left to right. Yeah, I mean, I could do right to left. I could pull from like the swing high to the swing low. Like I could just do this, right? Well, there really isn't a swing low because we're waiting for the low. We don't know how much lower this is gonna go. So I just pulled from the high here at 555 down to the low that we made down here at what we got down to 345. Yeah, we came down to 344, 345 down here. So I just measured from April 7th to the high here at July 31st. You use 10, 20, 50 for your movement averages. And you thinking that's I can't pull it like it did? Well, I just did. I mean, I could pull like this if you want me to go from swing high to swing low. Like we went from this high to this low. Okay, so I can pull it, you know, from here to here and see what the numbers are. And then with this, you get a 1272 at $501. So that could be a fib level to look for that we're kind of already at right now on Microsoft. Okay, and then you got the 1618 saying that we could come up to $544. We actually did that. We went past that on July 31st. But yeah, pulling from this swing high to this swing low kind of gives me almost the same numbers here on the Fibonacci. Sort of. But that's the thing with Fibonacci, Dutchy, is it's subjective. Okay? it's subjective because you don't, people can do from whatever high to whatever low, from swing high to swing low, and you can even go into smaller time frames, and instead of being the daily, you can go into like the 4-hour time frame or the 1-hour time frame and pull out from swing highs to swing lows on those time frames and get different numbers, okay? But it's all subjective. Yeah, swing high to swing low, I know. But sometimes I like to pull from the recent low to the recent high, okay? And in that case, I pulled from the recent low of the year, right? Okay, to the high of the year. Because look, what if I change the time frame, right? Let's go into let's go into some of the bigger time frames. Like we'll do like a 3-month, okay? Well, where's the swing low on this one? Okay, if I do 3-month, if I'm doing a quarterly chart, okay, then I have to measure from here to here. Okay, if I'm doing quarterly time frames here, I have to go from this swing high to this swing low at 345, and then look, yeah, now the numbers are almost the same as the retracement that I just already did. Okay, now it's like, okay, we got a 786 retracement at $444. Then we got a 618 at 424. Okay, and it changes depending upon what time frame you're using. So that's why I say it's all subjective. So you might be like, oh no, you're doing it wrong, Damien, but I'm not doing it wrong. It all depends on what time frame I'm using. It also depends on what swing high to swing low am I pulling from. So it's still, at the end of the day, subjective. And that's why you can't just rely on just one indicator. We don't just rely on the Fibonacci. We're looking for confluence. We're looking for like all the moving averages are agreeing with the Fibonacci, right? So it's not just Fibonacci. It's not just moving averages. It's a little bit of everything, to be honest. And at the same token, it's still subjective, depending upon where you're pulling your fibs from and what time frame you're using. All right, going back into daily time frame, we're gonna look at what are we? Athena. Let's take a look at Athena. ENA USD, I believe. Yep. All right. So Athena currently trading at 62 cents, down 5.48% today. And what do we got here? This I gotta pull up the moving averages, see what the moving average is doing here. Oh, really? There's not really much here. All I got is a 21 EMA. Let me see if I can find this on another chart. Let's look at Binance. Yeah, we got some more data here. All right. Athena currently at 62 cents. Looks like we lost this uptrend that we were trying to maintain. So we're starting to become a little bit more bearish on Athena now. And the next downside target, if Athena does go to low prices, I'm looking at this swing low here. This last higher low at 51 cents. Okay, that could be a downside target for us to look at if Athena does come down. Maybe we can get a bounce off that area. Okay. We also got some more moving averages here below us. The 200-day moving average is sitting at 40 cents, and that's confluent with this 0.236 retracement. I pulled this fib from 23 cents, right? That was where we were at back here in June 22nd, and I came all the way up to 86 cents, which is where we're at here on August 18th, right? We got up to 86 cents. And I don't always go from swing high to swing low, so now you know, okay? But isn't that kind of crazy that even though I didn't do swing high to swing low, the 200-day moving average is still confluent with the 0.236 at 38 cents? 40 cents? Yeah. So it doesn't always have to be swing high to swing low when you're pulling the fibs. Alright. Right here, I just went from the most recent high to the most recent low back here on June 22nd, and that's how I got my fibs here for Athena. And right now we're kind of chilling out right at the golden pocket, 62 cents. But if we lose 62 cents, maybe we come down to the 0.5 retracement at 54 cents, right? Which is slightly above, you know, it's slightly above this last swing low here. And that's right in between, smack dab between the 0.382 and the 0.5. So I think this is a good buy zone area, 47 cents and 54 cents. If we do go down to low prices on Athena. Now, if Athena does catch some bids here and we make hopefully a higher low at this area, then I want to see if we can reclaim that 72 cent area, that 0.786 retracement, and then eventually get back up to the highs in July at 86 cents. And then we're looking at 1272 fib extension, $1.03 could be your take profit target later on in 2025 for Athena. And of course, we got the 1618 at $1.25. That's another longer term take profit target area for Athena. And geez, if we get up to $1.25, you basically doubled your money, so you should be considering selling something at the very least. Not financial advice. But what are we doing here? Well, I don't like this. We got almost like a bearish engulfing candle here on the daily time frame for Athena. And if we get follow through going into tomorrow with another red candle, yeah, we're going to be pushing ourselves right down into that 50 cent area for Athena. Yep. Oh, we got Road Dog in the live stream. Okay. Yeah, Dutchy. There is no right and wrong way when it comes to fibs. It's all subjective. Talk to any of the pros. It's all subjective, and it all depends on. I already told you the time frames. Like, you can go into daily time frame and you get one thing, and then if you go into like the weekly or even the quarterly, like, everything changes on you. Like, how do you pull a fib on this if you're looking at the quarterly? Where's your swing high and your swing low? Right? On the quarterly chart. I think you're over here set in your ways, Dutchy. Okay, but you should do some more studying, and before you start telling people that they're wrong, maybe you should do some more studying about Fibonacci and time frames here, because you're set in your ways and it works for you on maybe like the daily time frame. But if I start changing things up, I go into like the hourly or the 5-minute, 15-minute, then your swing high, swing low start changing, and then you got to pull at different levels. So yeah. But the funny thing is, like I said, you know, go into the daily time frame, I pulled that Fibonacci, and I didn't do swing high to swing low. I did recent high to recent low. I'm still getting the 0.236 matching up with the 200-day moving average, saying that there's confluence there. So, but yeah, you can do it your way or whatever way, but it still works for me. Things still work. Things still work. But yeah, you can do it whatever way you want. Okay. Remember, these are just tools. Okay. And I've had people argue with me saying, oh, well, you can't just always target, you can't always do the fib from top to bottom. But it's like, all right, well, when I do the fib from top to bottom, I'm able to get fib extensions to the upside. But if I pull from the other side from bottom to top, then I get fib extensions to the downside, and I can use that when I'm doing shorts, right? So if I pull from bottom to top, right, then I get fib extensions to the downside here, okay? And that can help me when I'm doing shorts. So I feel like you should do some more learning about Fibonacci's before you start telling people they're wrong. But anyways, you do you. We have a request from Chris Cook talking about Jasmy coin. All right. Let's look at we'll look at Jasmy coin. And then what else? Do I have another request here? Well, Dutchy, the thing is there is no right way. It's subjective. Go talk to any of the pros about Fibonacci, and they'll tell you it's all subjective. There is no right way or wrong way. It's not like the moving averages. Like the moving averages, you set it there, it's there, you know. And I see people using all kinds of moving averages. They use the 9 moving average, the 21, the 50, the 100, the 150, the 200, the 400, and the 800. And it's like you can just use all kinds of moving averages. And then at the end of the day, it's still subjective. Anyways, I got some more requests here. Litecoin and Cardano. Alright, let's move on. Move on from the what's the right way, wrong way. What's the right place to put your Fibonacci? Okay, Jasmine Coin. Jasmine Coin on Coinbase exchange. Alright. So look at Jasmine Coin currently trading at 1.5 pennies, down 3.96% today. Let me mess that up. All right, let me go ahead and lock that in. We got the highs here back here in July 21st at roughly 2 pennies. Yeah, roughly 2 pennies. And I pulled this fib, right? I mean, I guess I could pull it to the swing low if you want me to make things better for you. I could do the swing low. Let me go ahead and do the swing low for you because I don't want Dutchy yelling at me here, okay? It almost comes out the same way, okay? Whether this is down here or here, okay? They're almost the same thing. But anyways, we'll pull it from here. Swing high to swing low. We'll buy the book Dutchy over here. We got the 0.236 retracement at 0.015 pennies. We need to hold this level here. Because if not, then we're going to probably end up coming right down to the lows here on August 2nd at 0.013 pennies. Now, the problem with this, you know, analysis here is that I don't have anything to go forward here if we do lose 0.13 pennies, okay? If we lose 0.13 pennies, then yeah, we're probably going to come down to 0.12 pennies. But if I readjust this to the lows back here in June, right? Now I got that 0.236 retracement saying that there could be some support here at the 0.0127 penny level. And that level is confluent with what we saw back here on July when we had some price trading action sideways at that level. So there's a 0.236 retracement level right over here. Okay. But if I was to be, you know, one track minded and only do swing high to swing low, then I pull from the highs to the lows here, and now I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? There's nothing here that tells me what my fibs are. If we go lower, I'm shit out of luck. The only thing you got is previous price action. However, when you measure down here, okay, yeah, 0.236 is confluent with the previous price action, so you can be a little bit more confident that, yeah, this should hold at this level here. Alright. But like I said, it's subjective, and you know what, we'll just keep it the way that Dutchy wants. Swing high to swing low, from this high to this low. And yeah, with Jasmine Coin, you do got 200-day moving average sitting above you at 0.158 pennies. Get above that, I'll be more bullish, and then I want to see us try to reclaim these levels here. Now, I don't see that much strong confluence here within moving averages, and you know, I do see a candle wick high at 0.17 pennies here. That could be where we get rejected, maybe, if we go up to higher prices. But more than likely, we'll probably get a rejection off of the 618 retracement at 0.18 pennies. Okay, that is a normal retracement level for us to get back to. And then moving on forward, yeah, I would like to see Jasmine get up back to 2 pennies. And if we do, then there's a 1272 at 0.022 pennies, and then there's a 1618, a juicier target at 0.024 pennies. But we shall see. We shall see. Let me see if I want to get into the oscillators here. What is the oscillator showing? RSI 44. So you're in neutral territory. MACD. You did have significant sell impression here back in the first week of August. We'll see how things go with the selling pressure that we're getting right now. If we start seeing pink candles showing up, that should be a little bit of divergence, right? Or at the least you'll know that your trend is less selling pressure, and then we'll see if we can actually get some more buying pressure showing up for Jasmy Coin here. And I guess Market Cypher B said the best day to sell was August 15th, last Friday. You're just waiting for a green dot to show up, telling you that, hey, now should be a good time to buy some more Jasmy Coin. But it hasn't happened yet, so we're just waiting on that. Alright, alright. Moving on from Jasmy, we'll take a look at a Litecoin and then Cardano. Alright, so I'm not readjusting my fibs here on Litecoin. I'm going to leave them as is. We have Litecoin currently trading at $114.15, 50 cents. And if Litecoin continues downward price action, we could get a bounce off the 618, maybe at $104, $106. That level is also confluent with previous price action back here on the first week of August, where we did get down to like $103, $104. Okay, so we'll see if that's able to hold. If not, then if we lose those levels, we do have moving averages below us, moving average support at $98, $99, which is confluent with that 0.5 retracement at $99. Okay, and moving on, if we were to start catching some bids here to the upside, I still have this thing charted out at $122. That's where we were at back here on July 23rd for Litecoin. Fib extension level 1272 at $134. Did we actually get up to that? Yeah, we actually did get up to that level there. So I'm still going to hold on to this Fibonacci because it looks like this is playing out to the T here on this Fibonacci that I drew. And then 1618 is at $150. That could be a target later on in 2025 that we're going to be looking for Litecoin here to the upside. And that's basically upside downside targets for Litecoin. There is a 2618 that says we could see $196 for Litecoin. And that is confluent with the previous price action back here in 2021 when we did see $200 Litecoin. So I think that's a possibility later on in 2025. $196 Litecoin. All right, let's see. Chris has said a few things here. Actually, no, Steve is talking right now. Steve is saying, I need some serious data on this. I honestly think I found gold. You're talking about blue chips, and you're talking about Manu and Ethereum. Right, we'll look at Manu and Ethereum. Yes, we're gonna look at Cardano. That's the next one after Litecoin here. And then what is it? I'm just trying to catch up on the chat here. Could you please check Manu Ethereum? 27,000 holders in 1.5 months. I know this is a winner. All right. Well, we're gonna look at that after Cardano. Let's get into Cardano here. Get rid of that. Looking at Cardano, currently trading at 85 cents, down 2.8% today. Let's see. All right, so Cardano, important level for it to maintain was the 85-cent level, which we're currently kind of at right now. Cardano has been overly bullish this past couple of weeks here. So if this is going to continue being overly bullish, then a shallow pullback to the 786 retracement makes a lot of sense here. However, if we lose this, then it's not, you know, overly bullish, and we'll probably do a normal retracement down to that 618 pocket at 78 cents. I think that's your first downside target for Cardano here. And if Cardano's not able to maintain that, then the second target is going to probably be this 200-day moving average sitting at 72 cents. And then you also got the 0.5 retracement at like 73 cents here. So those are your levels to be looking at if we lose 80 cents. And of course, if we lose 85 cents, we'll probably come down to 72, 73 cents on Cardano. Now, moving on to the upside, Cardano, yeah, we got to get back up to 93 cents. And then also we have a fib extension that says we could see $1.04 if we get past that 93 cent level. We kind of almost already did that here on August 14th. So I think that's still a possibility here. And then going forward, if Cardano does catch some bids, you got the 1618 saying $1.18 is another take profit target zone for Cardano here. Get into the oscillators. Let's see. Marcus FB got a red dot on Tuesday. I guess you're just waiting for a green dot to show up, confirming that you'll have some good days here. But when you get a red dot, what I've noticed with red dots on Marcus FB is that you get a bad few days after that dot comes in, and I think that's what we're getting here for Cardano. But we're just waiting for that green dot to kind of save the day so we can go to higher prices. Also here on MACD, buying pressure is coming down, and you're getting a little bit of selling pressure. Hopefully that selling pressure is weak, and we can go back in the green candles again. But yeah, MACD is confirming that you are having some bad days here with Cardano. And then what I don't like with Cardano that I'm seeing here with let me just clean things up here a little bit. What I don't like with Cardano is I see some bearish divergence that's showing up on the chart, right? You got lower highs here on your RSI after you just made higher highs on the price, right? I mean, if I have to draw it out here, I'll draw it out, but obviously you have higher highs on price and you got lower highs here on the RSI. That's bearish divergence. That probably means that Cardano less likely to go up to higher prices, more likely to go sideways, maybe even more likely to go down, but we've already went down, so we'll see. Maybe we are done going down for now on Cardano. But yeah, those are your downside targets, upside targets, and also a look at the oscillators for Cardano. Moving on to Manu. On Mexi Exchange. Let's see, pulling this thing up. What the hell? So that's the price of Manu. 0.07 decimal places to the right, and then you get 19411 here. So we're just gonna say 19. We're just gonna say 19,411 for the price. This is very interesting. So yeah, so this thing looks like it started trading on Mexi Exchange back on May of 2024. Oh my god. What the? Look at that big red candle here. Down 33% in May. Jeez. So, is this the one that you're excited about? Because this thing has done absolutely dog crap over the past year now. This is not a winner in my eyes. Okay. Back here in August, you kind of got some candlewick highs, but this seems like very scammy price action. Every time you get up to like 64,900, you get rejected. So we're just gonna put this as a take profit target because it seems like that's the high water mark for Manu at this point. And let's see here on July 13th of 2025, kind of got a lower high here, another lower high. So then you also got like a downtrend here. However, you are kind of breaking out of the downtrend right now just by going sideways. So that's kind of weak sauce in my opinion. But you are making higher lows here. So what do we do with this? What do we do? Well, I'm not sure how much lower this thing could possibly go after it's already gotten beaten down over the past year. We have seen the lows for the year at what is it? 3,649. Then you got a higher low here at 14,549. If you're gonna be buying here on this asset, I'll probably put the stop loss right below the low here on August 5th at 14,000. And if you lose that, then this thing is probably still in the downtrend, and you don't want to stick around to find out how much lower it can go, because it could probably surprise you to the downside. But moving on, upside targets, like I said, upside, let's try to get past these previous highs here at like 43,000, and then also here at 48,000. So I'll just mark that off on the chart. These should be take profit targets. And then ultimately that 62,900 target is a probably your ultimate take profit target in the future. That's going to be pretty much a 3x from where you are right now. So I kind of get it, why you would be interested in this thing if it could just get back to where it was in like August of 2024. But wait, this is very weird. Okay, so I'm looking at this chart. This is August of 2024, and then it started trading again in July. So this thing was delisted. What the hell? The last day that it traded in 2024 was August 22nd, and then it started trading again on July 4th of 2025. Man, this is so weird. So weird. So it got delisted. I don't know if you want to play around with a coin that got delisted and relisted, but if you're a risk taker, and I'm assuming you are, and you're one of these degens, then you might be getting this thing at the bottom. And then, yeah, you could double, maybe even triple your money if it could get back to where it was a year ago. And then even if it could get back to where it was like a month ago, you could double your money. But let's see, on the downside, you know, just going back to that most recent low here, you could lose 24% trying to double your money. And if you don't put your stop loss at that, you know, most recent low here on August 6th, and you take it down to like over here on what is that, July 6th, you could lose about 85% of your money. You could lose almost all your money being in this asset. So very, I still think this is high risk, high reward. I'm looking for a low risk, high reward, so I would probably put my stop loss below that most recent low here at August 5th, and I'm risking about 27% to try and get that 100%, right? Or even that 200% gainer. So that's how I would do this. Not financial advice, but I would put my stop loss right below the lows for August 5th on this asset here. All right, we'll move on to Ethereum. Let's take a look at the Ethereum. So we have Ethereum currently trading at 4,236. I think we're gonna probably end off on Ethereum and Bitcoin here. I'm not gonna take any more requests. That's gonna be it for today. Yeah, we already talked about XRP, meme coin, millionaire. XRP could go down to $2.50 on the downside. Upside, we gotta get back to $3 and then reclaim 330 on our way to 360. And yeah, KuCoin, we'll just have to save that for later because I usually do 2-hour live streams. I started at 12 o'clock Eastern time. It's now almost 2 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll just have to save KuCoin for like the next live stream. I'll try to go live again around the same time tomorrow. Alright. Yeah, so let's get back into this analysis on Ethereum. We're looking at Ethereum on the daily time frame here. Ethereum is well above the moving averages. A lot of people are wondering when is this thing going to get a correction and help people get in at better prices here. And we kind of did get that correction here on Tuesday. Ethereum got into my buy zone between 3,800 and 4,200. We came down to that 21 EMA and we respected it like a boss, right? 21 EMA was at 4,056. We came down to 4,066 on Tuesday and 4,062. And now it looks like we're kind of getting the bounce off that 21 EMA. So we'll pay attention to this 21 EMA. All right. I think when your asset is overly bullish like Ethereum, you can't really expect to wait for the 50-day moving average to come and save the day. Usually the 21 EMA is going to save the day, and the asset's going to actually get bounces off the 21 EMA if it's continuing to be bullish. And that is what we're getting with Ethereum on the daily time frame here. Let's see. Zooming out, I have marked off 4,800. This should be 4,867 because that was the high water mark that we saw Ethereum back here in 2021, where we saw Ethereum, if I can zoom out, right? It got as high as 4,867 bucks in November of 2021. Okay, so that's gonna be your target going forward for Ethereum. If we go up to higher prices here, that's going to be a resistance level for us to look out for. Now I have pulled a fib here recently from 4,100 down to the lows that we saw Ethereum at like 1,400. Actually, it got a little bit lower than that. I think it got down like 1,383. Okay. So in this case, if Dutchy's still around, I actually did pull from swing high to swing low in this case, because we saw Ethereum at like $4,100 in December of 2024, and we came down to like 1,383 in April of 2025. And this is how I got these fib numbers here. We do have a 1272 fib extension at 4,874, which is confluent with that all-time high at 4,867. If we can get past that 4,800 level for Ethereum, then we do have a 1618 that says $5,815 could be our first take profit target going forward. And then we have a 2618 that says $8,500 Ethereum is still a possibility here. Maybe later on in 2025 we see that number. But yeah, downside, right, with Ethereum. I'm going to pull up the VRVP now. This is going to be the green and red indicator on the right. We do have a high volume node here at 4,300. That has been acting as resistance the last couple of days here. We're at what? Yesterday we only got up to like 4,378, so we got a little bit above that. And then today we only got as high as 4,340. So yeah, there's a little bit of high volume right there at that 4,300, 4,350 level for Ethereum. If we can make it past that, then yeah, we'll start seeing higher prices for Ethereum. But if we start losing the levels that we're at right now, you got a gap in the VRVP to the downside, where you won't get really much significant support until like $3,700 and $3,800, which is my buy zone for Ethereum. You also got a value area high sitting at like $4,000. I think that's a psychological target for most people. There's going to be a lot of action at $4,000 where people are going to be thinking that they're buying relatively cheaper Ethereum at that level. And then there's going to be some people that are panicking thinking that Ethereum is going to go lower. and they want to get out now rather than later at $4,000. So yeah, I think between $3,800 to $4,200 is a good zone to be buying Ethereum if you're still bullish on this asset. And now we'll finish off on Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing, and that's going to be it for this live stream. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Ethereum is doing, Bitcoin is doing the thing now. Bitcoin is retesting the lows for the week. Actually, it got lower than the low. Let's see. We got down to 12,344 on Bitcoin yesterday. So all that positive price action in the last 24 hours is getting invalidated right now. Let me get rid of the VRVP for now. That's very disconcerting. And now, yeah, here we are. Bitcoin is losing those levels, and we are getting a bearish engulfing candle. Does anybody know what kind of news came out today? Because I don't think the news was that bad, unless there's something geopolitical thing going on right now. But if we're losing this level, then the next level is $12,000 Bitcoin. Around like 111,900 was the last low for the last higher daily low here for Bitcoin. If we lose that level, then you're gonna also be losing the 50-day movement average, which is climbing up to try to come and save us. If we lose this level, then yeah, we're gonna probably come down to that 108 level here for Bitcoin, and maybe even 104. The 104 level is kind of like where this 100-day movement average is sitting at, so that could provide support if we do come down to those levels. But yeah, 104 and 108 are my downside targets if we lose 112 here on Bitcoin. Oh boy, okay. But if this is just another buying opportunity, then yeah, we could see Bitcoin climb back up to that 0.786 retracement at $118,000, $119,000 level here. That would be your upside target if you're day trading or swing trading this. And then, of course, we'll see if we can actually get back up to 124,500. But yeah, this is looking like we want to come down and say hi to that 50-day moving average. I don't know. Maybe we might get some front running action going on here at 112K. But yeah, this is not the best way to end off on this live stream, but Bitcoin is doing this thing, and we're getting a bearish engulfing candle so far, and we're losing the lows for the week. And it looks like we're coming to try to retest the lows back here on the first week of August. Not good. No bueno. Ava Medina is asking, what is the pattern on Bitcoin? This could possibly be a double bottom here for Bitcoin at 112K. That's what we're looking for, hopefully. If this is a double bottom, from what I understand, from what I read on Investopedia, you just measure from the high in between the two bottoms. And if this double bottom plays out, you take that measured move from the bottom to the top in between the two bottoms, and you put on that measured move right on top of the top. And it's saying that you could get $135,000 Bitcoin in the future here. That blue number off to the right. If this is going to be a double bottom. And that's the measured move right there. We'll see. We'll see if that plays out. But this could be a double bottom for Bitcoin at 112K. I think this is a good area to if you're still bullish on Bitcoin, this is a good area to start putting in your buys, your longs, whatever cryptocurrency you want to get involved in here. And you just put a stop loss, right below at 111K maybe, or 110K if you want to make it a little bit looser than that. And you could be catching the bottom, the double bottom here, if this does play out that way. But man, it is not making things easy for us, huh? Like, a lot of people thought they were catching the bottom or the lows for the week here on Tuesday and Wednesday, and here we are. Just screw you. Let's go lower. Let's give people a good scare today. So that's what's going on right now. Let's see. What are you guys saying here on the live chat? I gotta catch up with the YouTube live chat here. What is Road Dogg saying? You got a good ribbon of low to high moving averages. Oh, okay. They're predictive when you learn their weaving and crossing patterns. Saved me many times. Exactly. There's a chance between price and moving down that a lot of people don't see. You see it. You see it. That's right. Yeah. Who broke Bitcoin? Who did that? Who did that? Was it you? Was it you? Was it you? Was it you? Ava is asking, is it Adam and Eve? I don't know if it's an Adam and Eve. It just kind of looks almost the same. Like, it looks like two Eves. But yeah, this could be a double bottom, and we know Road Dogg loves his double bottoms, right? Road Dogg loves his bottoms. But Road Dogg likes his rounded bottoms. Gives him more time to play with it. to enter into his positions. Road Dogg says inverted, reverse, Adam and Eve, but they all follow the same basic rules. Okay, yep. Just catching up on the chat here. Alright guys, yep, that's gonna be it for me on the live stream for today. We'll try to go live again, same time, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. I don't know, I might start a little bit earlier than 12. And I might end earlier than 2. Just be on the lookout for that. I might start at like 11 or 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll see. We'll see how I feel when I wake up that morning and what I gotta do that day. But look at that. After that good scare on Bitcoin, we came down. Now we're bouncing up to 112,500. Actually, let me look at the 15-minute time frame. See what kind of nonsense is going on over here. So after we broke through the lows here on Wednesday, yeah, we're over here making lower lows. What's the RSI doing? Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of starting to look bearish to me. I said look out below. Maybe now is your opportunity to get into a short if you want to, because the price did move up a little bit there. And I would take the short down to 108K if I can, or even 104K if you're lucky on Bitcoin. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. That's gonna be it for today, guys. I will see you in the next live stream, same time tomorrow. Take care, guys.